For people that's on Instagram Live, I just put up a picture of Caitlyn Jenner because she has been the talk of the week also, child. Okay.
That's not Sarah Huckabee, child.
Oh, God, I hope not. During a recent sit-down interview with the Pivot podcast, Caitlyn Jenner shared her thoughts about what she believes is a transgender popularity contest of sorts, saying everybody, in quotes, everybody thinks they're trans, which is not the case. As we know, Caitlyn Jenner has been extremely vocal when it comes to transgender issues, and her opinions don't always sit well with the majority. However, she doesn't seem to be concerned about the backlash, as she likely is the cause of a lot of it for her recent statements about popularity of being transgender. Now, she says while explaining that due to the issue of being transgender being a high popularized thing in the media, many people, including children, are proclaiming to be transgender because they believe it's the popular thing to do right now. She said in quotes, right now, because of the amount of publicity that it's getting, it's like everybody thinks that they're trans and it's not the case. And that's what she said. Essentially, like I just would be paraphrased. That whole last paragraph was what she basically said. But I was gonna show the video, but I'm just like, I don't want to show the video.
I want to see it. I would like to see it.
You would like to see it?
I would like to see it. Yes.
I don't have it piled up, but
okay, never mind. But I'm gonna say, like I said early in the podcast, early in the show, that there are a lot of talking heads that they're gonna talk, but we don't have to listen to them. I feel like Caitlyn Jenner is one of those people. I know that her story is, her story is her own story. And I think that the reason she received so much backlash in the LGBTQ community is because there's so much privilege that she carries that she hasn't denounced yet, while also taking up the space in the trans community. This was a rich white man. A rich white man on national television in the entertainment circle, right? Who shared their journey as far as their identity as trans. This was a rich white male conservative. Sweetheart, you are the enemy.
So my thing is this, and I want to shake the table because that's what we're doing now. You saying that this is something that, first of all, let me look back at the quote because I need to see this. Everybody thinks that they're trans, which is not the case, or that it's popular. It's a popular trend to be trans. You are a walking contradictory because there's so many people that said that. Look, and I'm just saying what the people are saying. People said that your transition was a ploy to get, popularity or some type of comeuppance of this situation. Like, we get it. Like, people for years have always, had this. He always, when she was Bruce, people had that inkling that, okay, maybe this person was queer or whatever the case was.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, the shit that she was doing after the transition and all that, like, it's giving what you're saying. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's looking like she looks like a hypocrite.
It's giving very much
projecting.
Just projecting. It's like, okay, well, you transitioned into Caitlyn Jenner, but you still have you're still have the mind of Bruce. In the sense that, and listen, this is not me trying to police anybody's sexuality, because I feel like whatever makes you come do it. But this was a rich, white, male conservative who transitioned into womanhood, who is still rich, still white, and still conservative, right? And we think about the LGBTQ community and we think about disenfranchisement and we look at the numbers. We take it to the numbers, right? Black and brown people within our community still to this day do not have the amount of privilege, the level of privilege that Caitlyn Jenner has. The fact that she can say something representing the LGBTQ community, our struggles, and then have the audacity to say that everybody wants to be trans now because it's popular. Sweetheart, you could have took your shots in the dark and did whatever you wanted to do, right? Lived your best life, got on your yachts and did your thing. Don't come over here trying to speak for for a disenfranchised community from a place of white male privilege.
Yes. Yes. I've been
That is
meaning
why.
to talk to. I've been meaning to talk about this topic ever since she made that comment about the whole trans people, trans women in particular, because they only care about trans women being a part of different athletic activities.
Right.
And her stance on that is just like sometimes and I'm sorry how crazy this may come off, but like I don't think that she believes that she's trans. Like I don't think that she believes that she is a woman. Like I don't know what. She's very confusing, and I feel like she's making and I hate to be the person to be like, oh, you making everybody look bad, you making all the trans people look bad, but like you making the community look crazy as hell, because then they're gonna use you as a way. See, y'all not all together because look at Caitlyn.
White, rich, privileged men will use Caitlyn Jenner as an example because it is a reflection of their idea of a queer identity. And that's when I'm saying everybody gonna talk, but not everyone needs to be listened to. I don't know who decided that Caitlyn Jenner was going to be the voice of the trans community. May have been something that she decided, maybe something that her management and marketing team says, oh yes, now that you're transitioning, this is a moment where you can advocate. But sometimes, and I talk about this when it comes to advocating for Black liberation. Sometimes the call is coming from inside the house. Okay. And Caitlyn Jenner is one of those people who we've let in our house, who has hijacked the movement, hijacked the microphone, hijacked the spotlight, and is literally reiterating the same type of transphobic rhetoric that we've heard over and over and over again. And I'm not surprised by it, but the backlash that she's getting is deserved.
Yeah.
It's deserved. And I think what's going to happen is you're going to see more Black trans women speak up more. And I was watching a video the other week where it was a white woman on TikTok, I think, and she was talking about the outburst or outcry of white women in this whole idea that Roe v. Wade could be overturned, and saying that, where are the Black women? Why aren't they backing us up? Why are they quiet? Why are they blah, blah, blah? And it's like, listen, Black women been leading the fight for everything for forever. Where were y'all? Y'all took over the women's suffrage movement that Black women were leading. Shout out to the Deltas. Okay. You know what I mean? And you took that over because it affected you, and now you're interested in it. When it was civil rights, y'all was quiet for a long time. Because you were tied to your husbands and to your household and backing up your man, right? And I just think that with all the work that we've done and the progress and the fight that we have, the fight that we still have to offer in our community, we don't need people like Caitlyn Jenner. We don't need people like Caitlyn Jenner. I'm open to diverse opinions. I think it's great for conversation, but when it comes to progress, Caitlyn Jenner is not progressive. Caitlyn Jenner is not a progressive voice of the LGBT community. Caitlyn Jenner is the Candace Owens of trans right now. Yeah. That's not helpful to us. It's not helpful to the LGBT community to have these people be the talking heads that get all the coverage in the press. Give me Hope Giselle. What does Hope Giselle say? What did Laverne Cox say?
Laverne, I was about to,
What did T.S. Madison say?
We don't care what Caitlyn has to say, because Caitlyn doesn't have the what's the word? She doesn't have this. It's not, something ain't right up there.
Right. And I'm like, Caitlyn's been trans now for what, maybe 6 years, 7 years, battling and just getting to a space where she could transition and all this stuff. She could have transitioned 20 years ago if she wanted to.
Yeah.
Because she had the access to do so.
But she did it because it was what?
It
Popular.
was popular now.
Air quotes.
Right. So it's like a walking contradiction. And you have people who have been actively transitioned for over 20 years still to this day, fighting for health care.
Mm-hmm.
For health care. Still having to resort to sex work because they're not able to get a job because this is a word that we use in the community because they other people are clockable and they're spooked. You know what I mean? So it's like Caitlyn Jenner is not the voice of the LGBTQ community, definitely not the trans community, not the one that matters. I'm not saying that white trans people don't matter. What I'm saying is they're not as disenfranchised.
I feel like they get it, like white trans people.
Right.
They get it because they're not messing with her either.
Right. And another statistic, 57 trans Americans have been murdered this year already. 57. Wow. Last year was the deadliest. Over 351 371, I think it was the number, had been murdered last year, which was the deadliest year for trans Americans. People like Caitlyn Jenner makes it worse because you are literally emboldening the ideas of people who hate us. Why can't people see that?
And the people that you stand beside, they're laughing at you
because you want to be.
They won't let you in. You're not in. You're not in.
Wanting to run for governor, I was like, child, I wish they would. What are you talking about?
Child,
Caitlyn Jenner still has a long way to go in her transition.
Yeah,
she's old as hell, but she has a long way to go in her transition for her mind to catch up to the struggle, for her mind to catch up on the fight. There's so much education.
She ain't got the mental capacity.
Right. There's so much education that has to be done there for her to understand that what she's doing is hurtful and not helpful. Shut up. Shut up. Take your meds. Take your shot. Live your life. Shut up. Shush. Shh.
And that's that on that. That's that on that.